Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
All right, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Amanda.
I'm Eve.
And tonight we are talking about Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy. So we got to kick off this week with a rather oddish call.
I would have found it funny because I do love the really funny calls, like the kind of ones that they get on 911.
Yeah.
Which is at first what I thought this was going to be.
Same.
But then it ended up being really serious. But oh my, this guy, he was smashing everything. And they're standing there yelling, whoa, sir, please stop.
Like I was not impressed how this call was handled at all.
It was so messy.
It was super messy. Why were there not more people trying to get these? I feel like Hughes and Jack were like completely by themselves, even though Theo was in her ear constantly asking for an update. Like,
that was annoying. I would have turned my radio off too. It's like, I'm done with, leave me alone. I'm working.
well, I was thinking the same thing that Vic said later. Like, why were you only talking to me and not like communicating to Jack? Like, why was it just me? Like, she was down there with this guy. Jack was kind of more back, but it bothered me.
Yeah, I was really confused why he was bothering the heck out of Vic. And I mean, it's not like it was a fire, like an act, like a fire. I mean, there was a real emergency going on, but it's not like there was a fire. Like, why was it so urgent that he get an update from her specifically to the point where he's like nagging?
Yeah, like why not like go and like walk to the center of the house and like yell in, or like I don't know. I feel like there could have been just I don't even know what to do is what the right thing to do is, but I
Or
feel like
send
that
in
wasn't it.
or send in someone else, because it's not like they needed a whole ton of people outside.
I feel like they just needed to knock those two guys out and drag them out.
Yeah, I was really, honestly, I was waiting for Jack to just, pop them both in the face, and then, we'd be done with it.
This was a very irritating call. I feel like it went on way too like it was I love this call because it was different, but it went on so long. And I was just like the whole time going, why are you guys still like arguing with these guys to get out of this house?
Yeah, I feel like the buildup took way too long. Like, they spent way too long trying to get these guys to stop fighting and stop, ripping this house apart.
Yeah, it was.
It was really weird. Like, I didn't really understand a lot of what was happening in this call. And then there was like yay much like actual medical emergency at the very end.
Yeah, there was. Well, the poor old lady who had called him in.
I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, that was out of control. It's like, here's what I'm thinking is, why was that not just a crisis one thing?
It should have been crisis one, first of all. Second of all, the police should have already been there. Right? Like there was no I didn't see like any police in this call, which I feel like there should have been the police there. Like this was like they were fighting.
This is one of our, not one of them, this is our only like first responder drama that we watch that really doesn't ever show what's going on, like with the police side of things.
I know.
Like we never see the police on Station 19.
We really don't, but like things like this, I feel like the police should be involved because they're fighting. Like this is like feel like more police territory than it is firefighters dealing with this.
It was more a domestic dispute. Like I really don't understand why the whole team was pulled there. It would have made sense if it was Crisis 1, and
Mm-hmm.
then that's been why Jack and Vic were there.
Absolutely. But also Theo just being completely lost.
He's trying too hard to not be Beckett. It's like he's focusing
Yes.
on not being Beckett rather than focusing on just being a good leader.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really wasn't impressed this week, which I didn't think I would be last week. I really wasn't excited for this.
You know,
But
I was really hoping that, like usual, they were just over dramatizing. Is that how you say it? I don't
uh
know. That's how you say it now. Um, I was hoping they were over dramatizing it like they tend to do in previews,
yeah.
but no, it was exactly what they showed. And I was
Yep.
really, I don't know what I was expecting because I'm not happy that he was made captain. I made that pretty clear last week. But I don't know. It was just not good.
No, it really wasn't. And I thought at the beginning where they were like hazing him and everything, like I enjoyed that little part of it. He took it really well. Like I was like, okay, like maybe this will be okay. And then they went on that call and it was just like, okay, maybe not. Because it just went like totally the opposite way.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Sullivan. Again, leadership material. This should be his job.
Absolutely.
And I like what he said about, you need to stop trying to do it all and oversee everything and, let your team do their job.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, Sullivan should be. We all know that.
Yeah, if he's going to be, screaming for updates in everyone's ear and wanting to make sure he's, checking on everything before he can make his own decision, he's going to crash and burn because
Mm-hmm.
as a leader, you need to be able to delegate and you need to trust the people you have on your team to do their jobs. Like, because otherwise, why are they there?
Absolutely. Theo being captain can't stick very long. He can't.
I can't put up with this very long.
Mm-mm.
I'm done after this one. I was done even before this episode.
I mean, and then we have, which kind of goes into the same thing of the whole Travis and Dixon giving Maya the photo evidence of Ross and Sullivan's affair. So I wondered that I'm kind of glad that she didn't make him captain at this point because now I figure all this is going to start coming out now. And if she would have made him captain, then that would have looked really bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean that information, I guess well, we can talk about it now because it goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
But yeah, the thing about those photographs is it doesn't matter what Maya does from this point moving forward. Because
No,
I mean he he's an ass. Am I allowed to say that? Maybe
uh,
not. Oh well, I did.
the radio can say it. We can say it.
He may be an ass, but he's not stupid. Okay, he may be many things, but he's not a stupid man. I
No.
mean, in some ways, yeah, he's pretty stupid. But I mean, he's not completely stupid. Like he
Yeah.
has to have his own copies. I think he's just waiting to see if someone else will do it for him. But he's gonna get those photos out there one way or the other.
Oh, I think it'll come out.
Yeah, he's not going to sit on his bum and just wait for someone else to do his dirty work for him. He's going to find a way to make it happen.
Now I'm hoping at the very end it'll all be okay and Sullivan and Ross can finally come out and with their relationship and happily ever after, whatever. But
Because I love them together. They're a good couple.
they really are. And I'm excited to see more of them. So hopefully we can get this over with. Probably I'm thinking by the end of the season. I think they'll have this kind of wrapped up by the end of the season. So, kind of while we're on Travis and Eli.
Did you see the part where I said Amanda explains herself? Because I was
Okay.
sitting there screaming at them, no, 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 stop, stop. What are you doing? Stop. And then I'm texting you guys, and you're like, I kind of like it. And I'm like, is she blind? Like, what show is she watching?
Hey, hear me out.
I'm gonna hear you out, but I'm also gonna tell you you're wrong, probably.
Okay. Do I do I love the idea of Travis and Eli? Yes, I do. Do I love the vision of Andy and Eli? I do. But I think Travis and Eli would be a better couple at the end of the day. Eli and Andy have only gone on one date. It's not a huge deal. And if they would have started it off with Travis and Eli rather than him trying to get with Andy, it would have been better.
See, now I'm really pissed because I see your point.
You see?
I would definitely be more on board with this if it wasn't for the fact that, things are just starting with him and Andy. I know things aren't like serious, like they're not,
I know.
it's not like exact, they're not seriously dating. Like they just started.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the fact that Andy's really starting to, is really starting to involve herself,
I know.
which she never does. I
I
mean,
know. I hate that too. Like I want the best for both of them, but at the same time, it's just like
if only we could have the whole Travis and Eli thing without having to have any drama with the whole Andy part of it, then that would be good. But because Andy's involved, it's really hard to be 100%
absolutely.
into it.
Absolutely. But at the same time, I just like look at Eli and I'm like, does Eli really look like somebody that Andy would be with?
Ugh, I'm like,
He
why
looks more like Emmett, which who looks more like who Travis would be attracted to. It just all goes back to Eli and Travis being together, which I did not see coming until this week. But now that I saw it, I'm okay with it. And I shouldn't be because I really was rooting for Eli and Andy. I really was. But they have me all confused now.
Yeah, well, you got me all confused because I was
Yes.
100% like, this sucks and they're stupid and I'm mad at them. But it's just Andy being involved. And
I
just
know.
that she doesn't get involved with guys like that. So I'm like, oh,
I hate it. I hate it. I really don't want Andy to get hurt. Like that would crush me. Which it's going to. She's going to get hurt because Travis and Eli just make more sense.
well, speaking of Travis, I mean, I loved him at that debate today.
Oh, that was great.
I don't know why I always head into these things thinking they're going to be a disaster because they always start out like it's going to be a disaster, like the radio spots thing.
Mm-hmm.
It always starts off like it's going to be a disaster, and then he ends up just
Blowing it out of the park.
doing his own thing and yeah, knocking it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him looking at the floor. I was like, oh no, is there going to be a fire and he's going to save everybody and that's how he gets elected? But I mean, he still was awesome, but it wasn't quite that.
It was a little cheesy.
It was, it was super cheesy, but it seemed to work.
Cheesy.
And
It was
that's
a little
really
cheesy, but I loved it.
and that's all he had going for him because Eli burned his note cards. So what else is he supposed to do?
That was hilarious too. Him burning them.
I was glad he burned them because those ridiculous note cards, I was like, are you giving some kind of seventh grade social studies presentation? Is that what this is?
I mean, if you're new to the whole thing, that would be kind of where my mind would go.
If you need my notes,
That's how we were raised.
I need to know what I think about this politics stuff I know nothing about.
No, I could never. Speaking of politics, this whole fake clinic thing this week was so disgusting.
It was so gross.
So disgusting. What
So
the
I
like is that a real thing?
I think it is. I
I'm
mean,
assuming it is.
I'd have to look into it, but I would assume it's definitely like, especially in states where they have bans in place, I would imagine that this is a pretty big thing.
It was just so the whole thing from I mean, it gave us some good laughs.
It did.
I'll give it that.
Well, first of all, Ben followed them there.
You've been following them there. Been trying to say that he was Karina's husband. And
Yeah, she was like, my husband gets a little. I was like, oh God, well, Ben's there, and now Ben has to pretend to be your husband. It was so messy, just
and
like
then Ben going along with it, my wife and our friend.
Haley's just sitting there giving them the dirtiest looks. Like, well, it's too late now. You got to keep rolling with it, Bailey.
It was hilarious.
If they'd only told Ben, hey, this is what we're doing today, just come along, because she knows her husband. She had to know that he was gonna follow them there, especially with how cryptic they were being about like what they were doing.
I see. I did not call that. I did not think of him following them there at all. But when he walked in, I was more than happy.
I loved it. But what I didn't love was that fake doctor.
Oh,
I would have been laughing most of the time at just how ridiculous and annoying she was. If it wasn't for the fact that they were basically like feeding them garbage.
the kindergarten flashcards got me. Those with the ring. I used to make them for my pre-K class with the laminated ring. You flip them with the pictures and the words.
And she was calling. She's like, oh, only mommy can make that decision.
Only
I'm like,
mommy.
you stop? Like people who call people mommy and it's not like their mother. It's creepy. Don't do it.
She came in there for an abortion, right? And then she immediately went to not even speaking to her first, but immediately jumping into mommy and daddy. It was just super cringy.
It was so cringy. And I was a little disappointed by how quickly they started, they started basically like revealing themselves.
Yeah.
That to know more. That closet.
And the only thing going through my head, she was like, oh, take this. And I was like, are you going to supply this stuff for the next 18 years? Or are you give them like 2 bottles and tell them to good luck? Like,
it's like, yeah, this is on the surface level. Yeah, it's great. If you were talking to someone who wanted to continue their pregnancy, then yeah, this is a great resource. But what about when the kid is like 5 years old and needs school supplies, 18 years old and needs to go to college? Like, are you going to provide all of that?
exactly. No, they're not.
I love how when they popped out, though, they had all the protesters there. What are that couple who always seem to keep showing up? What are their names again?
No idea off the top of my head.
But you know who I'm talking about. Those women who are all showing up everywhere. I love that so much.
I do too.
And I love how they just randomly pop up, and they were leading this protest outside.
So amazing. I loved this ending. It was great.
It was beautiful.
It was great.
Yeah. And Haley had her card. She was like, this is not a real clinic. Go here.
I like that the name of the clinic was even like close to Bailey's. Like
What was the
it
name of it again?
was like Bally, Balley.
Valley
Like
Women's Clinic.
Bally something women's. I don't know. I didn't even think to look that much, but it was like supposedly like very close to Bailey's name of her clinic, formerly known as the Denny Duquette. I know that one.
Whatever happened to the Denny Duquette clinic? Did it just fall by
It
the wayside?
it did. It did. They closed it down. I think they closed it down at the beginning of like COVID or something like that. I don't know.
Hmm, that would make sense. I don't know. Izzy was really obsessed with how much money was put into that thing, so kind of a bummer that it was shut down, but oh well.
I know. Well, you know what? If she would have stayed around, then maybe it would have kept going.
Maybe
Boo Izzy.
she should have. That's what happens when you up and leave.
And okay, so this what we're going to talk about now is Bailey kind of being put out there, and this kind of goes into Grey's Anatomy too. So she's kind of being targeted now, almost the same way as Addison has been, to where her picture, name, address, phone number, everything is being spread out everywhere about her, and her being named a quote unquote baby killer. This is super dangerous.
It is, and the what doesn't make a lick of sense is that they're doxing her. They're putting all this information out here. It's not like the only person who lives in the house is herself and her husband. She has like a little girl there. She has a 3-year-old living in that house.
Yeah.
She hasn't done anything.
No, I mean,
There's
no, this is
but,
super
but
messed
they
up.
yeah, they don't care because they do these kinds of things in hopes that people like Bailey or Addison are going to just shut up and stop whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's like we found out last week that Addison's family has had to move. Her husband and child are living with her sister-in-law, whatever. Like it's getting ridiculous. But next week we seem like some kind of fallout is going to happen next week. So I'm waiting for next week.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things happening all in the same
Yeah.
preview. It was a lot. So we have it looks like Mai is about to make a move with the photos. I really want to be wrong about that just because of where she and Karina kind of left things at the end of this episode. I thought that was so sweet.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then the Eli
Like
fallout, that's going to be interesting. I'm not
I,
looking forward to that.
I really see at some point it has to blow up. It has to blow up somehow.
Yeah, I know.
But I really wish it could just be something that was, just funny and awkward. That's what
Yeah.
I like to go for, but
I
they
don't
can't.
think so.
I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I am not pleased with them not leaving poor Jack alone.
Oh, he collapsed. Oh my gosh, that's going to be. They can't mess with Jack. Leave Jack alone for a little bit. I just need them to leave Jack alone for a little bit. Just like we just need him in the background for a while. Like, stop messing with him.
We finally got him back. He's good.
Stop it.
Don't touch him.
Leave him alone.
Hands to yourself. Leave him alone.
And also, solely, I guess, threatening to leave 19. Like, there's too much happening next week.
And then the kitchen fire
Oh, yeah. And the kitchen fire. Oh my gosh.
in a firehouse.
Oh, it's gonna be an interesting week next week. I'm here for it. Let's go.
It's gonna be a crazy one for sure.
I'm here for it. I can't wait. I'm starting to I was never like huge into Station 19, but this season, just like Grey's Anatomy, this season has just been really good.
I feel like they've both been equally good.
Yeah,
throughout.
they've really been on their game.
Yeah. It's like episode after episode has just been so good.
I'm not very inclined to the Theo, but that's my only complaint so far. So it's not too bad.
And the all the Theo stuff has been more recent, so
Yeah, in the past few episodes.
I don't know. Maybe that'll change at some point because he's annoying me.
Yes. I think he's annoying a lot of people. All right, so we were going to jump into Grey's Anatomy. This is Cowgirls Don't Cry, which I love this song so much. And this episode was directed by Sandra Wilson, which I always like when she directs, and I like when Teddy directs. I like them both directing.
But it looks like we got started this episode with Waggy in therapy
Oh my gosh.
going about as well as we expected it would.
Like I'm glad you put this at the beginning because I like could care less about talking about this because I'm so over Waggy.
The last, and this is because I do the outlines.
Mm-hmm.
Past 4 or 5 weeks, we have had a Maggie and Winston topic, and it is exhausting. I'm like, we have to do another freaking topic
I'm so over it.
that none of us care about.
No, I'm so
I don't care about them anymore. I know you don't. I don't remember how Jeanette feels. I think she's pretty
same.
good with them also.
Same. No, we're all freaking tired of it. Maggie, goodbye. Like I used to feel so bad about like not like
Wow, your Texas really came out there.
not liking. Ooh. Like no, I don't like Maggie. And that has been and always since the very beginning. I have never liked Maggie. I've never hated her. I've just never like she's never been one of my favorite characters. I've never like enjoyed her very much.
They've never given me reason to care about her. It's
No.
almost like they brought her on, and sure, her being Ellis's, daughter that she gave up for adoption that we never knew about, that was interesting.
Yes.
And it's almost like after that, they're like, huh, shoot, now we have this character and we have no plans moving forward with her. Now what are we going to do with her? And they've given her nothing, which sucks for Kelly McCreary because she's amazing.
Yes.
She's an amazing actress. So
Absolutely. I love Kelly.
we love Kelly, but
Yes.
given her nothing as far as Maggie's concerned because
No, she was just put there to replace Lexi. She was just there to replace Lexi, and you can't do that. You can't. Like it was Lexi and Meredith had some kind of different type of relationship than Maggie could have ever offered her. And it frustrates me.
I mean, I enjoyed seeing her with, the kids.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Now that the kids are gone, there's no use for Maggie anymore. So, I mean, sayonara Maggie. Like this, I mean, she could just disappear and not have any goodbye episode, and I would not.
I don't care.
No.
I really don't care. I am a little bit disappointed that she's going to Chicago and not Boston. Like, I feel like I would have been happier if she would have gone to Boston to like help Meredith out.
I don't understand the route that they're taking because for a little bit it seemed like they were setting up to have her head to Boston.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like Meredith was struggling. And isn't Boston where she's from? Isn't that where she was raised?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird to me that they wouldn't go like the Boston route. Like that
I
seems
know.
that would make more sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, she does not want this relationship anymore. They're going to get divorced. I'm fine with it. I have never been so mad at Maggie than I was this week of when she threw back in Winston's face about that family phone call Zoom that
Can
he
you
left. Like, are you serious? You're gonna throw that back in his face after this many years?
I vaguely remember that. Can you refresh my memory? Like, what was that? Was that during COVID?
Yes, it was during COVID, and it was like a family phone call that they got on together, and like it was with his family, and then like they were like grilling him on, I don't know, something with his career choices or something, and he just like got up and left, and like just left her on the phone call with his
Oh,
family.
okay, I do remember that. Yeah,
And I'm
I'm
like, was
sure,
that bad? Like,
sure. That's kind of a crappy thing to do. But yeah, with the program, this is like 3 years later.
yes.
I'm as yeah, 3 years later because it's 2023. It's 3 years later now. If you still have that in the back of your mind as an example of how terrible your husband is, then this is a you problem.
Mm-hmm. She's just grasping at any straw that she can find to make it make sense to her to like divorce him.
Yeah, because he's coming up with good points. Like, you don't respect me. I'm
Yeah.
trying to save our marriage. You don't even give a darn. And she's just like, that's right. That Zoom call, I'm going to toss that in his face to make him look like the bad guy. And it didn't even make any sense. I was like,
No.
and
My mouth was like to the floor during this. I was like, are you serious?
and she used it as an example of how he's a coward and that's why he's changing specialties. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
no.
talk about
Mm-mm.
putting words in someone's mouth, Maggie.
It was, it put a very bad taste in my mouth
It was
for
very
Maggie during this. It like watching it, I was just like typing notes into my phone. I was like, this is not okay.
I was never a huge a huge Kepner fan, but when she left, I still felt a little sad that she was leaving with Maggie. Like, this is the first time I've ever had a character who I like a character who's been around for a while
Yeah.
who's leaving where I really just do not care.
I think same. I can't think
Even
of any.
even Karasik. I was bummed that we were saying goodbye to Karasik because he was at least entertaining to have around.
I didn't even mind Karasi by the end of it.
Yeah,
He was fine with me.
I liked him, but like with Maggie, it's like nothing. I
No,
want her
it's
to go away forever. Like, I need her gone. I don't care how they do it. I just
yeah,
want her gone.
yeah. And I'm glad she is. I think this is the perfect time for her to be leaving, if not at the beginning of this season. It's time. The only reason she was there at the beginning was for Meredith. Meredith is gone. Goodbye, Maggie. Like,
Meredith is gone. You don't need to be there. Bye-bye.
I think Amelia will be next, unfortunately.
Oh, no, no. If Amelia leaves, I will be very, very, very upset.
She's been doing it for so long now. I wouldn't blame her. Well, she did like private practice before she even did Grace, so we gotta add that on too.
Um,
I can't blame her at this point. I hope she stays on for at
Leonard,
least till the end of this season. You know,
I will miss her so much
I will.
when
I will too,
she
because
leaves.
she's had so much character growth, so much to where like I absolutely love her now. So Maggie rushed out of the quote unquote therapy appointment that
The
her and
failed,
her and Winston were in,
the failed therapy appointment.
whatever you want to call it, for this really big case that came in, which this 16-year-old girl gets stomped on by a bull. Crazy story, right? I shouldn't have. I was expecting a guy, and I was expecting a guy like in his 20s. And then we have a 16-year-old girl be enrolled in. And
And
it
not
was a shock.
and not even like, a decent sized girl. Like, she looked like a tiny little thing
I
too.
know.
And I'm like, girl, what are you doing riding bulls? Like, that's not safe. She had a lot going on. She had a hematoma. there was something going on with her, well, obviously with her spine that they needed to fix.
Mhm.
And then it seemed like everything was going wrong all at once in surgery. And then she still made it through somehow. I was like,
Them having to flip her in the middle of surgery, like my heart was like, I was like, oh my gosh.
when Maggie was like, it doesn't matter, you have to flip her. I'm like, her spine is like wide open.
Yeah, that was terrifying. I was mad at these parents too, and it's really hard because it's like I understand where the parents are coming from as well. She's gonna do what she wants to do. Like it's really hard to stop your child from doing what they love to do and not supporting them, but at the same time,
This dream is like
it's killing her. Like it's it's super dangerous. And as a parent, like you don't want your child to die from a sport. Like
that.
that's
I felt really bad for the mom because she did mention that when, like, there was one point when they told her that she couldn't do it anymore, she had to stop, and then like she wouldn't eat, she wouldn't sleep, like she wouldn't do anything.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, I mean, she's 16, she's obviously really, really stubborn.
Yeah.
So it's like, as a parent, like, what can you do? It's like you can't force her to stop.
You
I
can't
mean,
force them to stop. Like you it's
I mean, legally you could as the parent, but I mean that can only take you so far.
yeah, I mean it's super parenting is freaking hard. I mean, let's every parent out there can sympathize with this. If it parenting is super hard to where you want to support everything that your kids want to do, but at the same time, you have to use your life experience and knowledge to interfere with their lives. And it's sometimes you have to let your kids make some really stupid mistakes for them to learn. Sometimes kids just have to learn on their own, but bull riding at 16, one, first of all, I would have never let my child bull ride at the age of 16.
Like, you want to be a bull rider? That's your dream. That's a great dream. The day you turn 18, that's when you can start riding bulls. How's that?
Yeah, and I was raised in the country, like still to this day not a red light in my city. Like I was raised country where I had cows and horses in my backyard, and I still would say the same thing. I would never ever let my child bull ride. It is so dangerous, not only at the points of getting hurt, but it takes such a toll on your body. It destroys you even when you're young. And it's just whew, Maggie's talk with Georgia. I
I mean,
appreciated it.
I don't care for Maggie at all as of lately or
Mhm.
really as of ever, but I did like that chat that she had with her.
I
That
did
was
too. Mhm. I did too. And our last thing to kind of touch on here is Blue and Jules.
Blue seemed rather knowledgeable about bull riding, which I found it interesting. Well, like he said that the 8 seconds comes from like that's when the bull
Mhm.
starts, like that's when the bull stops fighting, I guess. Is
Yeah,
that
it's when they start kind of like succumbing to it, and it's
I
not
was
as it's not as entertaining for us if they're just gonna let us ride them. I mean,
that is terrible.
it really is. It really is. But I mean, human
Jules,
beings, what can we do?
Jules seemed to like it though.
I'm all here for it.
It's fine.
I like watching bull riding. I just don't want my child to bull ride.
You just don't want anyone you know and love to be involved in doing it.
Yes.
I will watch people I've never met before get thrown off a bull, but that's as far as it goes.
Let me give everybody an assignment right now. Go watch the movie 8 Seconds. It is Luke Perry, which everybody should love, who sadly passed away.
May he rest in peace.
I mean, I'm so sad. It was him back in the late 80s, early 90s, making a movie about a really famous bull rider called Lane Frost, which he died in real life from bull riding, but it's a really good movie. Maybe you want to go watch it. A lot of famous people you'll see in it just back in the day. And speaking of our interns, things are going from bad to kind of weird with our other set of interns, Limone.
Um,
Limone.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Simone really this stupid and clueless?
I
Like
was so frustrated with her.
she chose Lucas as her
What
man
the
of
hell? Like
honor. I'm
after
like,
she was just making out with him and she
um,
knows that he likes her, and then you're gonna ask him to do that? Like that's
you
a
guys
shitty move.
like this close to getting busy before you got engaged, and now you're making him your man of honor. Like, how does this make any sense?
It was honestly, I felt like it was super disrespectful. It was super disrespectful of her to ask him to do that after she knows that he likes her. And they had like this connection and the man of honor, like this was not in good taste for me.
I don't understand why she did that. I mean, really that is she hopeful that they can just be friends, or is she just like is she just really this stupid, or is it both?
I think she's just desperate enough because she doesn't have any freaking friends, and Jules doesn't want to do it.
Because she didn't want to carry the vial of blood around. Okay, after everything she has shared about her family, shouldn't you know by now that most of the things that her family does is not like traditional?
I cannot wait until we meet her family, which you know it has to come sooner or later.
Oh no, I need her parents to just randomly show up at the hospital someday with
Please.
a little vial of blood. And she did
Please.
that so matter of factly. She was like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to carry that vial of blood around. And they're all looking at her like,
What?
um, what? Blood? What are you talking about?
I have to know the backstory about this.
I feel like the more Jules gives us, the more confused I get. And I'm like, can we just have him on the show so that we can put like faces to the stories?
I need it. I need it so bad. I need more Jules background. I love the actress first and foremost, but I need more Jules. I need more of her.
Heck of a lot more.
But we did get a lot of Limone this week, which I really liked, with the patient who they thought just really wanted painkillers. Was I the
Yeah.
only one who really believed him that he was in like in a lot of pain? I was completely on Lucas's side this week.
Oh no, me too. Because well, first of all, it's Grey's Anatomy. They're not going to solve it by saying, "Oh, he's an addict," and send him home, and that's the end of it. There
Yeah.
definitely had to be something wrong with him, and I'm a, I'm a little frustrated with Richard this week that
Yeah.
missed it. I know how much we all love Richard, especially you, but I'm kind of disappointed with
I was
how
too.
he jumped to, oh, it's addiction, discharge him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and he even like jumped down their throats when he found them like reviewing all of the x-rays.
But how cool was that?
That was so cool. What Lucas was doing with the x-rays, I was so confused at first. I was like,
Same.
what pattern? I knew that he was searching for some kind of pattern, but I was trying to figure out how I was like, is he sorting the pictures somehow? Is he
That's what I was really confused of what was going on at first.
it was pretty basic what he did. It was just a timeline. Kept saying over and over, it's a moment in time. I'm like, yeah, that's
I still don't get it.
that's
I
what the
still don't
picture
get it.
4 words. But no, that was cool how like they were going through and finding it's like, and then from here to here, like the wall is thick, and I don't know. They used a lot of doctor words. It was very
They
interesting.
did. They did, but they ended up finding this. It was a toothpick. Like, what the world? I don't think we've ever had this in Grey's Anatomy. And I just want to say that I really appreciate getting something new and weird with Grey's Anatomy that we haven't seen before that I feel like actually is a real life problem.
How did it not puncture anything?
I'm surprised it didn't. It looked like it was like dull on both sides, though, didn't it? Like when they pulled it out, it looked like it was like dull on both sides.
And would he not remember swallowing a toothpick?
Maybe not.
Like, I mean, because if I swallowed a toothpick, I definitely would have been like right away. Like,
I know what
hey,
it is, sis.
hey, I swallowed a toothpick, and I think that might be a problem.
Something hurts. No, I really enjoyed this storyline because it was something new and that we haven't seen before. But I have heard of this like actually being a problem of like people swallowing toothpicks and them causing like really big issues. So I especially enjoyed this
And
little storyline.
I love that they're giving Lucas
Mm-hmm.
like they're basically giving him, a save the day kind of thing because he's it almost seems like he's fumbling his way through, but then he always comes through at the end of the day with something super impressive.
He is, and I like that he's willing to kind of fight against the man per se, as in I guess Levi being the man of speaking his words and kind of going against them when he feels like something isn't right. That's the old kind of magic, you know what I mean? Like
And
they used to fight.
listening to his gut because he
Yes.
obviously still carries guilt over Tessa, the book author. He still carries that guilt over not speaking up and making sure she went to surgery earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Absolutely.
I'm glad that he allowed that to stick with him and be like, no, I don't care what they say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what Richard and Levi say. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. I love it. I'm completely and totally here for it. I did feel a little bit bad for Levi this week about Carlos, though.
So sad. I don't understand. I mean, I get that he's a traveling nurse. That part I understand. Like, I get what a traveling nurse means. He's a nurse, he travels, like, it's in the job description. But I'm so confused about why they made a big deal about him, falling for this handsome nurse, and now he's just gone.
It was really weird.
Why did they do that to us? Like, I don't understand why they made Carlos such a big deal and now he's gone.
I didn't
Unless
either,
he,
unless he's gonna come back. I don't know.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. But is he truly memorable enough to just have him come back and everyone's excited to have him?
I mean, unless they're gonna like have him come back every few episodes.
Maybe. I don't, it's just so weird.
It was kind of like I mean, unless this was like kind of a gear up to Levi moving on with somebody else. Maybe this was like his rebound type of fling. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't barely been with anybody since Nico, right?
Yeah, I loved him and Nico. I mean, I didn't like Nico, but I liked him with Nico.
Yeah. No, same. I
But that
I
makes
even
sense.
started liking Nico at the end of it.
I just need Levi to be with a nice guy who's going to stick around because, I mean, Helm and Bailey were both telling him, dude, you're pretty unpleasant. And he looked at, I love how he looked at Helm. He was like, that wasn't yelling. I'm just talking loudly. Like, okay, Levi. Okay.
Okay.
That's the story.
Okay. But I wasn't really agreeing with how Levi was handling the interns, but I love Bailey's like little mini speech to him today. And I feel like it made a huge difference. Like him inviting them all out to drinks, like afterwards, that should you do it after every shift? No. But maybe after a really freaking bad day, take your interns out. Like I loved it. I loved seeing that little side.
Yeah, I loved how, again, I love kind of the callbacks they've been doing lately because it kind of, I mean, obviously I remember very clearly that that's what her nickname was at the beginning of the show. But
Mhm.
it's interesting hearing her talk about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, nostalgia.
Yeah, I
Like,
love it.
remember, you know what they called me when I was the chief resident? At first, I was like, friend, they were calling you that before you were chief resident.
Hold on. And I wrote down Bailey's speech to Levi
Oh, please read it.
because it was so yummy. All right, let's go. I mean, you said you wanted to be the vagina of the program because vaginas are so strong. Well, vaginas also bring pleasure, they bring joy, they bring life. You got to be the whole vagina, Schmidt, not just the muscle. I I died
I, you
right
know,
there.
Bailey, 19 years ago, would she have ever given anyone a speech like this? No,
No, that's what
never.
makes it so good
But
today.
I mean, it kind of ran her whole point home where it's like, you can't, you're going to burn out way too fast. Like, that's not a way to keep, like, it's not a sustainable tactic.
Absolutely. And I
So,
love that she kind of brought that back to where she's like about him like being so like about when he did like make the whole vagina speech at the beginning of season 19. Like, where did that Levi go? Because he's not here anymore. Like, he's less pushy now. I feel like he got like chief resident and he was just like, okay, and slow down. And it's like, no, this is when you should be speeding up.
I don't know. I'm really hoping that Bailey kind of knocked some sense into him.
I think she did. I really think she did. I think she made a difference. And I'm
I, you know, Bailey and Richard too are like the two people on this show that everybody listens to.
mhm.
Everybody listens to Bailey and Richard. Like when they tell you, "Hey, this ain't working and you need to change what you're doing," like people listen to them.
Wouldn't you?
Oh, I would. If he gave me that vagina speech, I'd be like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I will figure it out and I will do it.
Yes, ma'am.
On and smile. Yes, ma'am. And I'll walk away and be like, hell was that?
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know what to do.
I'm not even a doctor.
I'm just a child dressed up like a doctor. I don't know what to do.
Oh, I just got reminded of this. So Maggie didn't tell Amelia she was even considering moving to Chicago?
Weird, right?
What the
Well,
freak?
also at the same time, it tracks. She's always just thinking about herself.
What the hey? Like, seriously? You're not even gonna like she's living with her, isn't she? You're not
Yeah.
even
So,
gonna mention it?
well, the way that it was brought up, it seemed like Teddy was making it sound like people were just calling, like people were just interested in her. It didn't sound like she was actively job searching.
Yeah.
It sounded more like almost like headhunters, so to speak, were
Yeah.
reaching out. So, I mean, I guess it would make sense that she didn't say anything to Amelia because at the time she hadn't thought about, she really hadn't considered it. I mean, she definitely, I mean, quote unquote, considered it when she was screaming at her husband at the end of the episode. But, and
Uh,
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it right now. I'm sorry to all of Chicago. Deep dish pizza, I don't get it.
I
It's
don't
not
either. I'm right
taco.
there with you. I will take New York over Chicago any day.
It's not pizza.
No, it's pie.
It's
It's pie.
dough with
It's
just
pie.
it's not good. It's not worth moving to Chicago for. If I'm gonna move to Chicago, it's because I'm gonna run into our, one Chicago people. It's not gonna be because of the pizza.
Exactly. I like New York pizza better. I like New York hot dogs better. Those have sauerkraut on them, and I love sauerkraut.
Yeah, I can dig up a sauerkraut. But yeah, New York pizza.
Oh, I like thin crust. I like skinny. Like, yeah.
I needed to have a nice crunch. Almost like paste.
Yes.
What I need.
I even like mine a little bit charred on the bottom. Like I like a good crunch. Just perfect. Okay, we gotta move on from pizza. Super
Mika,
tired.
I mean,
Oh.
Mika really benefited from the free drinks.
Oh my gosh.
She,
Mika getting caught eating the donuts by Teddy.
I love how she just walked away, and then Teddy was just like, "Hmm," and then just turned around and walked away. I'm like,
I have protein bars in my office. I I could not stop laughing at that because I'm like,
I remember, oh God, when I was watching it, she saw the donuts. They're in the trash. First of all, what was there anything wrong? Like, what was wrong with the donuts? Like, why were they in the trash?
why did the person throw them
But
away? I
anyway,
don't
I
understand
saw them.
that.
I was like, oh my God, Mika, no, no way. And then she's stuffing her face with all those donuts. But she, you know, need
Well,
to get for the plasma.
that was sad. I always forget how broke the interns are. Magic was too. I remember Magic going through it too, and the
I was really glad that Mika mentioned like how much interns get paid because that's what was running through my mind. I was like, I'm sure it's not a lot. Like that much I'm sure of, but I'm sitting here thinking, like, how bad is it?
I know it was always kind of like referred to and a little bit mentioned in the early Grays days, but I'm really like glad that they were making a bigger voice of it now of it's really not fair what what the doctor interns being paid after all that money they've just had to pay for college.
But not to mention that, the amount of hours they have to put in, it's like they live at that hospital. It's not like it's easy for them
Mm-mm.
just to have another, regular part-time job.
Absolutely.
Like that's their
You
main focus
can't.
of being at that hospital. So the fact that they're not even paying them enough for like the practically 24 hours a day that they're there,
I mean, this is her getting $75 is a huge deal to her. Like that's sad. And
that's a huge
now
loss.
her asking Helm to put in a good word, like how is she going to work at a bar and be an intern at the same time? That sounds impossible to me. She's going to wear herself down so fast. I feel bad.
I mean, who's like, I'm not a doctor, but like I can only imagine. Like after a day of teaching, it's like all I want to do is go home. And being a doctor, like after the day you've had, sometimes you just want to like go home and like cry into a tub of ice cream. I mean, I would imagine. But no,
Absolutely
head on over to the bar and work a shift at the bar. Like that's
not fun.
pay pay people what they're worth. They might stick around longer.
Very not fun. You want to know what
No.
else is not fun? Not getting more Joe and Link time. Because I think I could have watched an entire episode just over Joe and Link.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get. I agree. Like that could have been a whole episode, and I would have been
I'm so
happy. But
seeing Joe. Okay, first of all, I have to be a little bit mopey here. Joe has we have seen her grow so much over the years. Like I'm even noticing like little lines beside her eyes now and everything like we never saw years past. And she's like we're seeing her age and getting so much more mature and I want I want her so much to be like happy in a relationship and like get her happily ever after Alex screwed her over. And I want her with Link so bad. So bad at this point. Like I know they're
I
gonna get together. I know it.
I need them to be together by the season finale. If it
Before.
happens, if it happens right at the season finale, like right as it's ending, I could live with. But now that we know there's a season 20, I could live with that. But
Yeah.
can we make it happen sooner?
Oh my gosh. I need them
That's
together
a
so bad.
lot.
The
I
mini
will.
donuts. Hello, how cute were that? Was that?
I saw them and I was like where? Like, I mean, I'll take a road trip to Seattle. Like, I just need to know what bakery I can find those cute little things at. Like I was expecting those little like munchkins, like that you can get at like Dunkin' Donuts. But no,
Mm.
they were like donuts, but like mini ones.
I make it's funny, I actually have a machine that makes those and I make them for the boys. They're about this big around.
Oh, cool. So I don't need to go all the way to Seattle. I can just come to Dallas.
Or the donut machine is like $20. It's really not that much. They're super easy to make. But that's what they reminded me of. And they're so cute. And I love that he got 3 boxes for himself and 1 box for her.
And he proceeded to just pour them right into his mouth.
I was like, how? I'd have to like I would eat like half of one bite and then half of another bite.
He's Link. Like I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I love this. You and we won't go into so much detail, but it's just I loved how like in depth that they got this week of how much they know about each other and their past and their you really felt it this week of their relationship, whatever relationship we are right now, or friendship, relationship, whatever, but you just really felt it this week. And I loved that. I was completely over the moon this week when it came to Joe and Link.
Yeah,
And
they were getting really, really deep this week.
I wanted him to kiss her so bad, but it almost was like the slow burn. Usually I hate slow burns. I really do, but somehow the way that they're doing this, I'm actually enjoying it, which I've never ever enjoyed a slow burn.
I feel like this slow burn is really, really working out well because remember how we were when they first did the whole friends with benefits thing and we were like, whoa,
Yeah.
no way. But now that they've done that slow burn,
Mm-hmm.
given us time to actually want this,
It's really worked.
yeah,
It's really worked, and I'm totally here for it. And I need more. I need more Joe and Link.
a
So
whole episode of Joe and Link.
I need a whole episode.
I could totally go for that. Just, a special episode.
I'm here. I'm totally here for it. I would completely watch a whole episode of
Yeah.
them. You know what I would not watch a whole episode of?
Maggie.
Maggie.
It's just two more episodes because next week is a 2-hour episode.
Are we gonna get 2 hours next week, or is it gonna be split into
I
two?
made that mistake last time, so I went back and double checked. The preview said 2-hour episode. So we do have Station 19 next week, right? So it's going to be an hour of Station 19 and 2 hours of Grace.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I have no idea. I don't really want Maggie's final episode to be this big of a big deal. It's
Especially
kind of
since
annoying.
Meredith got nothing.
Meredith got like a half cake, and then Maggie's gonna get a 2 hour grand finale. No, thank you. And also Amelia and Kai. Ugh, they're just not my favorite. They're just not. I don't care. I don't care.
I've never it's not like I never liked Kai.
Same.
They're well, not great. They're okay as a person, but like they're just there.
Like I honestly forget about them when they're not there. Like
If
I
Kai just was never if Kai just disappeared and like we never heard from them again, I wouldn't care.
I know.
I
Same.
keep forgetting about their existence.
I do too. I really do too. And I just don't really care too much about it. So I'm not really looking forward to next week, but I guess we got to just get it over with. Maybe we'll get some good spots in the middle of it. Who knows? Let me be a Debbie Downer here.
But at the very end of it, we know for sure that Maggie is going bye-bye.
Yes.
So
So
we have that to look forward to.
thank goodness. I'm sorry, Kelly. I really do love you as an actress. I don't love Maggie.
We love you and we want wonderful things for you. We can't wait to see what you do next.
Absolutely.
We don't want you to be gone. We just want Maggie gone.
Yeah, exactly. And Waggy.
Maybe Maggie has a long lost identical twin, and then you can come back and have a much better character.
That wouldn't surprise me.
The show's going on 20 years, so I mean they need to start coming up with some new fresh stuff.
And also, by the way, just we are about to go, but I do want to say that I really appreciated Amelia telling Maggie's father that she was leaving.
Oh,
She didn't
okay,
even
sorry.
talk to Richard. Like,
She didn't even talk to anybody.
just it blows my mind. I can't. I need her to go. Bye.
All about Maggie and what is best for Maggie. Apparently, what's best for Maggie is the deep dish pizza. So Maggie,
bye.
Just
go get your freaking pizza.
Yeah, enjoy.
Oh, I'm so over it. I really don't even want to watch next week, but I of course will. I will make myself sit through it.
Who do you think you are? Of course you will.
I might watch it the next day, but so I think that's all we have for tonight. I think we covered everything. I need more Joe and Link, and I need less of Waggy. I think that's about it.
Less Maggie, more Joe and Link, less Trey, and a lot more Lucas and Simone.
Yes.
Zero Trey. I don't even want less Trey. I want zero Trey.
Trey? Trey who?
What was that?
Trey. Trey who? I don't know Trey.
Trey?
We're going to forget about him. No more
like,
Trey.
A couple seasons we'll be like, who was Trey?
Who is Trey? Like Gilmore Girls. Paul.
Paul?
Who?
And she just walked out the diner. She's like, oh, I forgot all about him.
That's gonna be Trey. Boom. All right, but don't forget to check out our socials and Facebook group, Grey's Anatomy Grey Family Fan Club. Tune in next week for more episodes. Sundays are our Fox nights where we talk about OG 911, which is on a break right now.
Super original.
OG.
Ooh.
So we talk about 911 and 911 Lone Star. Tuesday night is our NBC network where we discuss all three Chicagos. And Wednesday nights are ABC nights where we dig into Grey's Anatomy at Station 19. So join, subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at Wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.